Have you ever reached the end of an exhausting week, finally allowed yourself to sit down, and immediately felt a creeping sense of guilt? We have come to view stillness as a moral failure, as if every moment spent not producing, moving, or striving is a moment wasted. If you've ever felt the deep exhaustion that comes from trying to sustain a sprint for a marathon's distance, the natural world has a gentle correction for you. It offers us a mirror in the form of a creature entirely defined by its speed, yet wholly dependent on its stillness. Today we are going to look at the cheetah, not as a symbol of boundless acceleration, but as a masterclass in the profound necessity of deep rest. Imagine the golden expanse of the savanna, shimmering under the weight of the midday sun. When a cheetah hunts, it transforms into an absolute marvel of physics and focus, a blur of muscle and intention that can accelerate faster than a sports car. For those few, breathless seconds, it gives everything. Its heart pumps massive amounts of blood, its lungs expand to their absolute limits, and its entire physical being is consumed by the explosive effort of the chase. Yet, what is truly remarkable about the cheetah is not what happens during the sprint, but what happens immediately after. Once the chase is over, regardless of whether it ended in a meal or a miss, the cheetah completely shuts down. It will seek the shade of an acacia tree, collapse onto the cool dust, and simply breathe. It enters a state of profound and undeniable recovery. In those moments, the cheetah is entirely vulnerable, its body vibrating with the aftermath of extreme exertion. But it doesn't fight this state. It doesn't look around the savanna feeling guilty that the lions are still walking or that the elephants are still migrating. The cheetah possesses an inherent wisdom. It understands that unmatched output demands unmatched recovery. It doesn't attempt to negotiate with its biological limits, nor does it view exhaustion as a weakness to be conquered. The rest is not an interruption of its power. It is the very source of the power. Think about how often we demand the explosive performance of a cheetah from our own minds and bodies, but expect the tireless endurance of a machine. We push ourselves through high-stakes presentations, emotional crises, and intensely demanding creative projects, and then immediately expect to seamlessly transition into the next task without skipping a beat. We treat rest as a luxury we have to earn, or worse, as an inconvenience we have to minimize. But the cheetah models a much kinder logic. It shows us that true brilliance, effectiveness, and sustainability require us to honor our limits just as deeply as we honor our ambitions. If we're going to pour our hearts into our work, relationships, and our growth, we must also give ourselves the permission to collapse into the shade when the sprint is done. Pause for a moment and let the image of that resting cheetah settle into your mind. Think of a time when you pushed yourself to the absolute edge of your capacity, only to berate yourself for feeling tired the next day. Maybe you caught a cold after a stressful month at work, or maybe you found yourself staring blankly at a wall when you thought you should be organizing your home. Ask yourself, where in my life am I demanding relentless momentum, when what my body and spirit actually need is profound recovery? Where am I letting the guilt of stillness rob me of the restorative power of rest? We live in a culture that endlessly glorifies the hustle, a culture that rewards the illusion of perpetual motion while ignoring the inevitable burnout that follows. Yet, when we look at the natural world, we see a healthier way to exist. A cheetah is not majestic because it never stops moving. It is majestic because it knows exactly when it must be still. So if you leave this conversation with one practical thought, let it be this: your need for rest is not a sign that you are failing, but a sign that you have given something your all. The kind of life that is sustainable and deeply felt requires you to pace your energy, to respect your physical and emotional boundaries, and to surrender to stillness without a trace of apology. The next time you feel the weight of exhaustion pulling you down, don't force yourself to keep running just because the rest of the world seems to be moving. Find your quiet shade. Let your breathing slow. Trust that the savannah will still be there when you're ready to rise again. And remember that allowing yourself to unapologetically rest is often the most powerful thing you can do.